Dobrodošli opet na moj YouTube kanal. My guest today is Helena from Australia. Yay!
Yay, hello everyone. I'm Helena from Australia.
So Helena, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. It's so weird talking about yourself, but okay. So in relation to, I guess, like digital marketing and UGC specifically, I first started doing UGC for my own brand where I would sell period pain products for women in Australia. So through that, I learned like media buying, I learned content creation, I learned running ads, website design, graphic design. And then I went from that into actually creating UGC for other businesses in Australia. From actual like physical products, hair products, makeup products, to non-physical products like apps, services, local businesses, hotels and Airbnbs. So yeah, I transitioned my own business content to serving other people with that style content.
Yes, and you learned so many additional things, additional tools
Definitely.
that we use in the process of UGC and digital marketing.
Of course. And then I guess currently I just ran retreats. So retreats is my latest thing. And I just ran a UGC retreat in Greece, which Mila came to. That's how we met. So yeah.
Yes. The question is, why did you choose to hold a retreat for the European creators?
Okay, good question. First of all, like logically, it made sense because you guys are close to Greece. Like I had people from Australia interested, but I launched and planned the retreat all in under 2 months. So for Australian creators to come to the other side of the world in a short period of time, one, it was crazy expensive. And two, they would have had other commitments as well. But also because I feel like UGC in Europe is so underrated and underutilized. Like they're not up to date in terms of the US and Australia, because here and in the US, UGC is booming. You have creators making just as much money as influencers a lot of the time and getting similar results.
How much money is that?
Anywhere between like 5 to 10K a month, like late 4 figures to 5-figure months.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, doing like UGC. So it's because 85, like statistically 85% of people who scroll social media say that when they see like a face or person they connect with on a deeper level, it drives like them to buy or connect more with like the brand or the business. Versus like these perfectly aesthetic like brand videos that brands put out per se.
Yes, and they seem artificial, too artificial.
Yeah, definitely. So like people buy from people, and I think that's where like the power of user-generated content actually is, because people want to buy from someone that is a face, is a person, has a soul, is a being. Like it's not just like a aesthetic thing.
Yes, so now in a digital space, we are in a modern way back to like the past where people were buying on the street from one another. Yes. And I wanted to ask you, so first you had a brand, and how did you hear about UGC from that perspective as a brand, as a brand owner?
Okay, yeah. So I was doing it for about, I would say, a year and a half. And then I was on TikTok. And then I saw this girl. She's actually a really good UGC creator and a popular one based in America. I feel like she's the girl that made it so big in America and like actually brought it to social media and informed other people. But anyway, I saw her video about it and I was like, oh my God, I already do this for my own brand. So why not transition into doing it for other businesses? And the appeal of just working, because when you have a brand with physical products, sometimes like the supply and logistics side of things is so overwhelming. And especially when you're new to business, that's like a whole like rabbit hole in itself. So I was like, okay, I'm really interested in maybe not dealing with products anymore. I saw this girl's video, I had that skill, so it makes sense, and why don't I just try it? And then that's how it happened.
Okay, was UGC in Australia a thing back then or not?
Well, I feel like it was still relatively new, only because when she announced it, even in America, it was pretty new. And America's ahead of everyone when it comes to things. Like they run the world, they're always the first to do X, Y, Z. So I feel like Australia quickly followed behind America, but at that point it still wasn't like super popular. People were still like, what the heck is this?
And when you started as a UGC creator, how was your communication with brands in Australia? Were you struggling?
I'm not going to say struggling, only because of a few things. Because I could already make content, or I already made content for my business, and I had like the analytics that drove like a lot of my sales. So I had the ad analytics from the ads manager, and I also had the actual ad views on TikTok. So I was able to have a case study, which I think really helps. But still, the initial like trying to inform people about what it is was a bit challenging. But then like I also made sure I was a part of certain platforms like Fiverr, and then posting examples on my social media that attracted people to message me about it. And even brands, like think about it, like brands are also on social media. So they're also curious, like, how is UGC going to help my brand? So as soon as they realize like they can utilize it for their brand, it definitely became more popular in Australia quicker.
Okay. If you could explain what UGC is in a simple way, what would you say UGC is?
Well, I guess quite literally, like it's an acronym, and that stands for like user-generated content. So the user being this creator who, first of all, are not an influencer per se. Influencers can do UGC, yes. So I'll go into that a bit later, but the actual user-generated content is the creator that makes the video, whether it's for like a hair product or it's for like an app or a service. They are making a video as a genuine user of that product or that service, so that people can actually relate to that person. There's like an element of relatability. They can relate to them, they can connect with them because they look like they're just your everyday friend or person that you might know and you feel familiar with per se. So that's one thing. That's like the basics of it. It also means like you don't have to have many followers. You just have to have the skill to make decent videos. Because
that's what I noticed. Sorry, but I have to say now so that I don't forget it. Usually when you talk to the brand here in Serbia, they're like, we don't have the followers. How is that related to UGC? Having many followers?
Yeah. Okay. It comes like in both ways. So they can go and pay, like influencers for one are so expensive. And it doesn't always guarantee a result, because if an influencer doesn't have like a really cult-like engaged community, they could have built their followers by posting like sexy pictures on Instagram, but then they try to sell something like completely unrelated to like their body or bikinis, whatever. And like if they don't have that engaged cult-like following, they're going to cost brands so much money, and they probably won't get a result, because half of that audience of maybe the girl who's posting sexy pictures are like men who just are interested in looking at her sexy pictures. You know what I mean?
Yes, but like, it's not related to anything.
It's not related, yeah. So in that case, it doesn't make sense. And it's a lot more budget friendly for brands, because they can pay 5 UGC creators for the price of one influencer and have people connect with them because they just seem more relatable. And a lot of the time people start to recognize influencers in videos and ads, so they automatically think, oh, that person's getting paid to do this.
Yes, so it's not honest again.
Yeah, so the whole point of UGC and where the UGC creators come in is that, let me go back to my thought. I guess where the UGC creators come in is it's more relatable for one, and the face is not as recognizable for two. And if the UGC creator has the same skill set and can create just as good videos, then they can get the same conversions, if not better, meaning you've spent less money to get customers because UGC creators are cheaper than influencers.
Yes, okay. So
sorry, I had a thought. Also, because like if you have a brand or a business and you want to fill up your feed with like even organic videos, you don't always have to run ads. Imagine filling up your feed with like 20 videos from 20 different influencers, how much that would cost versus getting a UGC creator, paying a quarter of the price and filling up your feed organically for cheaper as well. It's more efficient.
And getting, if you can. Now that's the thing, and we are at a good point. We're talking about that right now, because you as a UGC creator, you don't need to have any followers. Why? Because you're making a video and you are providing brands with a video, and they use that video for their marketing purposes, and they use it for their strategy, marketing strategy, whatever it is. But now here comes the part, you don't need followers. Why? Even if the brand doesn't have followers, it's okay, because here comes the media buyer, Facebook ads. What happens there?
So I guess the purpose of like the media buyer is to put money behind the ad that like the UGC creator will make, and then drive traffic to the brand's page. If that's what you're asking, like how the brand can build up like the followers with the UGC videos, is to just get the media buyer or have a media buyer to run money behind the ad.
Or maybe it's not even important to have at that point so many followers if you maybe have page on the internet. I just forgot, a website for like where you sell your products, and you just put out the commercial on Facebook ads, UGC video on Facebook ads. What do you think about that?
Sorry, so you're saying it's not necessary to run ads?
Or no, it's not necessary to have followers. Okay,
to run ads, or for the UGC creators or the brand?
Yes,
which one?
Yes, because the thing is, what happens here, I already told you, but the brands are like, you don't have any followers, and it just happened to my friend yesterday. She was talking with the brand, and they were like, oh, but your price is too high. We will pay influencers to do this because we see that you don't have many followers. And just like you said, I told her, well, they don't know what are they talking about, because they will spend less money on you and on the ads that they will
put out.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so what is media buyer doing in all of that?
The media buyer's role is literally to just take the video. So let's say you're the UGC creator and you record maybe 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos. Maybe you record the same video, but you change the hook of the video, which is like the first 3 seconds. And then you give the media buyer more chance to play with more ads. And then also, for example, a UGC creator can make that 1 video with several hooks, and it's still going to be cheaper than getting an influencer to film 3 different videos. And the media buyer can put 3 different videos into the ads manager versus 1 expensive video, and then play with it, put certain ad costs behind each one, and figure out which one is going to work the best, or which one is working the best, per se.
Okay. There was a question, now it just popped out of my mind. Yes, what do you think is more important? The quality of the video. When I say quality, I don't mean like pixels.
Okay.
I mean, so the content of the video, or how media buyer will post that ad?
Definitely the quality of the creative, for sure. Because if it's a bad creative and you put like $100 a day behind it, $200 a day, it's just people are going to scroll past. It all comes down to the creative. You could match the best media buyer with this piece of content, But if this piece of content is less than average, then that doesn't matter how good this media buyer is, because media buying at the end of the day actually isn't that hard. Like there's no like secret, like there are some tweaks and hacks to be a good media buyer, but there's only a certain point that's like, there's nothing like crazy revolutionary that's going to change the way the media buyer would make this ad work, if that makes sense, if it's a bad ad already.
Yes. Okay. What do you think about as a media buyer? Like you should let Facebook push that ad by itself, right?
Like not target it, or target it?
Yes, not targeting it, because Facebook knows more things that we do.
Of course, Facebook's very intelligent. I feel like I don't feel like it's either or. I feel like no targeting sometimes can work well, but then if you have a very niche business or product, then targeting just saves like letting Facebook do all this unnecessary work. It's like directs, when you put the money in, it just directs to the people quicker. So I think it's like you could do both, but targeting, depending on what business or service you have, could work like really well.
Could targeting be only in the title of the ad? Work as a title of the ad as a media buyer?
I would say targeting would, like technically, like the definition of targeting, I think is like a few elements. It's like deeper than just like the title, because obviously titles are great for like SEO purposes. People are searching certain keywords or media, but that's like kind of like a given. Like you would just put keywords in the title regardless, because it just helps push it more. But if you go into like the actual ads manager, you'll find different elements of targeting. You can do very basic targeting, like females age 18 to 30, or you could do females age 18 to 30 with this, this, and this. It can be deeper, or it can be more general targeting.
Okay. What would you, if you were in a situation to talk with a brand now, and the brand doesn't know what UGC is, and the brand is in position where it thinks this person just approached me and wants some money from me, not knowing what UGC is and how it can help the brand, what would you say?
Okay, I would first of all lay out obviously what UGC is. Then I would do a slight comparison to, I guess, influencer marketing, and really push the idea of like brands, for them, like letting go of their money is what you need to break down. Like that's the barrier you want to break down. So I would try and really highlight like the cost efficiency of having a UGC creator that can get a same result for less money. That's like if they don't know what UGC is, that could be like a really highlight point after you already explain what it is. And then I would actually do some research on the brand itself, find where you connect with the brand, even find gaps, like maybe they're not doing this, or maybe they're doing this really well, and like put that in your pitch, and also offer certain like examples and ways your content is going to target certain aspects of their brand, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does. That's what I was trying to do, but I was on scene.
You're on scene.
Yeah, it's okay, because I was afraid that I would be blocked. So
yeah, I think it's like when
because
it comes to
I was like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. I was already mad. Here it's very hard for us here in Serbia.
I can imagine. It's got to be like a sandwich effect, which is like fluffy, light, cloudy, cute, and then a bit harsh, but not too harsh, but like to the point.
Yeah.
What it is, this is how it is. And
I
then again,
suggest it would be better.
And then honestly, you just like pitching, you always have to tweak it. You just got to figure out how many people respond to you out of how many people you pitch to. If like, let's say you pitch to 10 people and 5 respond, but only 1 say yes, getting responses is still a good thing. As you said, sometimes like you're left on scene. Maybe you get a response, but they like reject you. You figure out why they reject you. Maybe they say we don't have budget or X, Y, Z, and you just constantly tweak your pitch until you start to get positive responses. And this is why I also say, like, as a UGC creator, if you're getting into it, if you've started to do it and maybe you've done gifted collabs or maybe you have just some kind of result.
Gifted collabs are like, they don't pay you any money.
They don't pay you any money, but I think for beginners, it's a really great way to get practice, because at the end of the day, you still have to be able to get some kind of result for the brand because they are still investing in this person. So practicing content is the biggest one, and then being able to like try and get results back from even the gifted collaborations. I think if you're going to do gifted for X amount of time, you need to get something back. So
yes,
maybe for our next gifted collaboration, say, I'd love to get some analytics back just because it helps me figure out where to improve and helps me figure out how to best serve other brands. And then accept it, the gifted collab on those terms, so you can start to get results. And then it also makes pitching easier, and it makes it easier when you do get approached by brands who want gifted to show them that you can do this for them.
okay.
It's kind of breaks like the resistance and resistance a little more, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I understand very well what you're talking about. Let's just for a second get back to the question. So the question was, how would you explain that? Okay, as a UGC creator, but I want you to try and like say a message to the brands that are like reluctant or that hesitate to work with UGC brands.
Okay, so you want me to give an example of a pitch, like what I would say?
No, not a pitch. Like now your opinion.
Or like I'm talking to the brand, like personally, like what I would say.
No, you're talking to me, but what's your message? Like you want to spread the message, you want to say, you know?
About
So the brand is the brand is like, why should I hire UGC creator, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. So why I think they should, basically. Okay, well, for one, it's cheaper. For two, it's more relatable. People connect better with people. And then I guess if people are constantly seeing the same face, like I know in Australia, if I see the same influencer, unless I really love their content so much, and this is what I said earlier, like if they don't have like a cult-like following, like people genuinely love this person, like as if they're their family member, like I will see people like beauty influencers all the time, and I'm like, this girl does the same thing. She's always promoting different lipsticks. I know she doesn't use 50 different lipsticks. Sorry, like I know that. So why am I that she's like loves this lipstick? You know what I mean? Versus you have like a fresh, unfamiliar face. It just converts that much more, I think. And it's at the same level. Like influencers definitely are valuable, but they're more expensive and they don't always, you're just
trustable.
As a brand, as a brand, like you can be just at risk at losing you can be just as at risk with losing your money on an influencer than a UGC creator. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna use a UGC creator and they're not gonna get the same like good results and I just wasted my money. But you could risk more money, a couple $1,000s or however much money on this influencer, and the risk is higher anyway. And it doesn't always work. It's not like influencer marketing works better than UGC content. They pretty much like give anyway at this point in Australia and America.
Sorry. And people got like more conscious about what regular marketing, regular ads on TV do. Yeah. So that do you think that still works in a way for let's say for the generation like that's now 40 years old?
Of course, yeah. I think like the older generation, they watch TV more. Like our generation is more like on social media. We don't like to watch general TV and like the news and ads as much. We just get irritated by it. We don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
So we're on social media more. So it makes sense that for the older generation, having like ads where they spend a lot of time on the TV unwinding at night. So having certain ad placements, I think, still works for them. In my opinion, from like when I interact with my older family members and I see how they react to certain things that they watch. So I think it still has its place, but it's quite different to like this per se. Like
yes. Maybe I didn't pose the question well, but my question was for the people up to 40 years old. So our generation, younger generation, that I think doesn't work anymore. Just
okay,
that
no,
doesn't.
I don't even watch TV. I can't watch TV.
Yeah.
Because
The
the news, I
majority
don't
of
like
us don't watch TV.
Yeah, the news, I'm like, it gives me the ick. I can't watch the news.
Yeah.
It's so weird and biased. And then the TV ads, I'm like, it's just so like bland, boring. So obviously selling to me. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yes. Too aggressive
Yeah,
approach.
definitely.
And then you get that resistance. Like, no, I don't want to use that service.
Yeah,
I don't want to buy.
exactly. Unless like, look, I haven't watched TV in a while, so unless they are starting to move to a more like softer way, I'm not sure. I can't comment exactly because I literally don't watch TV. So maybe they are moving
You
away.
don't know what would happen.
But yeah, who knows? Maybe it's like changed and I don't even know because I don't watch it. But
we have 6 minutes because I don't have like pro Zoom, so we will end and then go back. But in this 6 minutes, just related to this, are you overwhelmed with seeing UGC creator ads now? Because you're for a long time in this business, you are a UGC creator, you use UGC creators.
Okay, this is the interesting thing because like whenever you interact with on social media, like for example, I'm doing UGC, digital marketing, social media marketing. So a lot of the content I watch, I intentionally look for those things. So therefore, the algorithm is going to show me all these things. And yes, I do get a lot of UGC ads, and I recognize a lot of the girls because in Australia, like I can tell, like I know this girl, I follow her on Twitter, she's a UGC creator, or she's posted this ad as an example for her own followers to see. But that's only because I'm in that niche and I see that and I know the girls, you know, I know their faces per se. But imagine like you're just a regular consumer and you're just interested in beauty, or like then you're interested in health, then you're interested in travel, like you're not going to get a bunch of like UGC videos. Every now and then, maybe on your For You page, if it's popular, you'll see something. But it's not like that consumer is going to be flooded with UGC videos per se. It's like if we're in the space ourselves, we're going to be flooded with it because that's what we interact with the most. So
yes, of course. Do you feel overwhelmed? Like you feel do you have the similar feeling now with the UGC ads because you are in that business for a long time? You've seen a lot of UGC ads, and as you're saying, you are seeing that every day. Do you have the similar relationship between traditional ads and UGC ads?
I don't think so. I think this is a hard question, to be honest. Because if I'm being honest, I feel like it's a hard question. Because I feel like when I see traditional ads, unless like the ad is funny, like I feel like you can have traditional ads that are funny and like I still like it. Traditional, but they're kind of funny and quirky, and I like it. So I feel like it's 50-50 on both sides because you can have traditional that's, I'm resistant, I can tell they're trying to add me, I guess they're trying to add me, they're trying to sell me, or it's like funny, oh my light just went out, or it's funny and organic and I feel connected to it. Same with UGC, like this is what we were talking about earlier, if the quality of the content is good, can the media like still make the brand money? If the UGC content is not that good and it feels too ad-like, people are going to be resistant to it. So it really comes down to the UGC creator like practicing how to talk on camera, how to do voiceovers, like they're talking to their best friends, like making it really casual and not like like trying to sell people things. It's like more
Too
subliminal
antsy.
selling. What?
Not looking too antsy, not looking like you're
Yeah.
selling
Yeah.
something.
So I
Yeah.
feel like the trick is like, which can be hard to practice, but it's worth it, is how to like target people like subconsciously in a subliminal way, like making content that way is really gonna like give specific UGC creators an edge and get better results, I think, for clients.
Yes, marketing is psychology.
Definitely.
Check it. Analytics. Let's go with analytics, like the real stuff. So now we're going to see how UGC video can affect brands. Brands. Help me.
Their performance or their conversions, their sales.
Their sales. That's it. That's the word.
We got there in the end.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go.
Okay. Do you want me to, I'm actually going to talk through some of my my analytics. Obviously, before we spoke about it's a cost-efficient way to increase conversions because you can put less money into the content. But I'm going to talk about better. I mean, it's put it in front of me so I can look at it and tell you. My screens will go off. Okay, so for example, I worked with a brand, a Pilates equipment brand, or I worked with a sports kind of brand that had like sports equipment that you can use to work out at home. And they sent me analytics back, which I thought was really nice of them to do so. And then this is from Facebook ads, and it has the click-through link, the ROAS, which is the return on ad spend, and the ROI, which is the return on the investment. So basically, for example, my click-through rate was 2.33 and 2.64%, which is considered a good click-through rate. The return on ad spend was actually pretty crazy. The ROAS was like 18.67% and then 16.96%. And then the ROI itself was like 1,767% and then 1,596%, which is like above average per se. For example, like you're going to show the thing on your screen, but you'll see highlighted mine in a red square. And then you can see like that my results compared to another ad. So you can see it was probably a UGC ad, but my content was probably just better. Not to say in a bad way, but like my ad was probably just better than the other one that you see. So you'll see mine's in the red box and you'll see like the results there compared to the others. So that's like evidence of what UGC ad can like give to a brand or a business.
Okay, so now when we are looking at it, can you explain Helena review, beginner-friendly workout, okay? So let's go into that box. We have ROAS. What is that?
So ROAS is return on ad spend. So how much they put into the ad, that specific ad, versus how much that specific ad makes them.
So 8.67 means that they put what?
Well, I don't know the specific money behind the ad. So this is a thing where they might not always tell you how much money they put. ROAS, like the total return of the overall investment, and the ROAS is specific to that ad campaign. Okay. So the picture, like I guess in the media, in the ads manager, you have different levels. You have like the overall level, like the campaign level, then you have the ads level, and then you have the creative level. I can't remember fully, but there's like 3 different levels in the TikTok ad manager anyway. This is the Facebook one. But I think the ROI is like the greater. The greater investment into like the overall thing versus like the specific ad investment. Let's say he spent like $50 a day or $100 a day or $200 a day per ad, that would be more related to like the ROAS, the return on the actual spend behind like those specific ads. Versus how much money he put into the whole campaign per se.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. So the campaign is bigger, then we go ad, then we go creative.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Now, 1067%. So you brought them a lot of money back.
It looks like it. Well, I know that the ad performed well, so definitely, because they obviously made a profit from it, but I don't know how much money they put into the ad, because he didn't tell me, oh, I put like $200 a day, or I put $50 a day, or he didn't tell me exactly. But he got like profitable conversions based on this, and then he continued to come back for more after this. So obviously, like, it did make him money.
Yeah. So your videos were good.
Yeah.
Because he got back. Okay. So that's what UGC can do. Like, we are looking at a percentage. So wow. Okay. When the UGC creator gets a deal with a brand, what UGC creator does then from that point on?
Once they get the deal, like once it is confirmed that they're doing it, once they get paid.
I got a deal with a brand. We talked about how the video should look like, what should include, but I have my creative part, right?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what I'm a UGC creator, I got a deal and I have my phone. What do I do next? Okay,
so you got the deal. Obviously, maybe by this point you've written out all the ideas and like you've communicated with them, kind of like what you would create. Then I think it's the best to put like it in a document. The most efficient way to do it is to write your ideas down, do some of the scripts, and do like a storyboard. Like, a storyboard is like, let's say I have this hair thing I'm gonna make. The storyboard is like your visual, or like your actual cues for what you're gonna film. So maybe I say my hook is me showing a before and after. Then the next clip, and I make clip 1, and then I say clip 2 is me using the product. Clip 3 is aesthetic videos of the products. Clip 4 is me talking to the camera face to face. And then at least when I go to film, it makes it so much easier to edit afterwards, because you don't have an excess of footage, and it just makes the process more efficient and quicker. But before that, obviously, if we're just talking like that's the creative process, before that, make sure you have everything, like your contract and going through like the nitty-gritty stuff with the brand, like having a contract and laying out what's expected between like both parties.
Okay. So you spend your time and energy on a creative part, on filming, on getting everything like together, and then you edit the video as a UGC creator.
Yes, you definitely edit it, and like that can actually be fun and time consuming. For example, I'm at a point where I just have a video editor edit my videos, because it means I frees up more time and I can do other things, maybe serve more clients or brands.
Yeah, you're at that point now.
Yeah, so if you're just starting out, but being good at editing is still valuable, because you need to know what to cut, when to cut. So I think every UGC creator should get good at the editing, because it comes in handy for your own social media too, anyway.
Okay. So talking about this, we can come to conclusion that UGC is hard work, is a job.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's like anything. It's essentially a business that you're starting. So it takes persistence and hard work. So it's not just like this thing where, oh, okay, like I'm gonna work with brands, all airy-fairy, it's so simple. You need to still figure out the basics of social media, the basics of marketing, the basics of psychology, the basics of filming good content, working on your tonality for when you are speaking on camera, when you're doing voiceovers, just little like puzzle pieces that will just make you a better UGC creator, and therefore make you more appealing to brands. So yeah, it's not just as simple as pick up your phone and do XYZ, but you should also know that doing this initial hard work and building the foundation it's a very valuable skill set to have.
Okay. While talking with brands, We already mentioned that, but we come across brands that are not very don't know what UGC can do for them, and we come to the part, can we do it for free? Because of the ignorance, they assume that you're trying to get money from them.
Yeah.
But what you're actually doing as a UGC creator.
So what you're actually doing is essentially making the money, because let's say you've worked on your skills, you know that you can make the money. It's just about how you portray yourself when you're presenting yourself to them. And it's like essentially like we spoke about before about marketing and selling. You're essentially like selling yourself and UGC. So it's like you could write a long message to them, like explaining it. But like I mentioned before, you want to explain what it is, and then you want to like specifically point out certain things within their brand, within their social media, where you can literally step in and like fill the hole. So you want to really portray that in your message for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helena, I think that for now we will stop here.
Okay.
Thank you very much for being my guest. You explained so much. You explained so much, and I think it's a good start for the first video.
Amazing.
Like basics,
you ask good
but
questions.
What?
You ask good questions as well. So
Thank you.
Makes it more flowy.
Yeah. And we touched some of the professional digital marketing stuff. Yeah, so
but it's all like still related to each other, so it's important.
Yes. You can't explain some things without talking about media buying, Facebook ads, la la la. Yeah. But yes, when I come to the point, when I go deeper into the topic, then we will talk about that too, maybe in the future. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will stop recording. I will stop